Welcome to the Mandcave, the only podcast hosted by two best friends with nothing in common except our first names. I'm Mandy Kaplan.
And I'm Mandy Fabian. Every week, we test the limits of our friendship, arguing over movies, books, podcasts, cute things our family said. Grab a couch. Let's get to it.
Wait a minute, cut this shit.
Yeah, I am dying to talk about the podcast Bad Dates that we listened to. But first, I need to know, did you make the egg roll in a bowl?
I did make the egg roll in a bowl. You guys, she is not kidding around. When she gives these recipe recommendations, get on it. We had some people over, so it was a big roll of the dice, an egg roll of the dice, making a new recipe for company, which I always do. I do two things when I cook. I always choose a brand new recipe I've never made before when I'm about to cook for like 8 people. And then I always forget to taste it. I literally get to the table, put something on the table and go, it might need more salt. I didn't really taste it before I served it to everybody.
You're saying everybody and 8 people, and you had a big get together. It's so strange. I wasn't there.
Oh, well,
I didn't.
You were the morning shift. I want to thank you, by the way. You guys, look, we fight a lot and she has terrible opinions about movies and TV shows and she's a robot. But let me tell you something. This woman shows up for her friends. I threw a political fundraiser for a friend of mine, this amazing, inspiring guy, Steve Pearson, who's running for this state assembly in California. And, he's just a really good guy. And I sent out a missive to all my friends, like, this is a good man. He's so inspiring. He's so what public service is supposed to look and feel like. And this one, who's not even in his district, showed up to support him and donated. It was amazing. And so thank you. From the bottom of my heart, that is what it means to be a human and a person on this planet. And I so appreciate it. And you didn't have to.
And you know me, I RSVP'd and donated within 30 minutes of getting that thing.
Yes.
It was like, here's the money, here's my, we're doing
it. It was amazing.
But I know Steve and I do want him to take over the world. And I think he's incredible and inspiring.
Yeah, he's the guy who didn't just go hide and in a fetal position in the corner in 2016. He actually got active and learned how to do all the stuff that...
He had a little more to say than about the state of the world.
He did.
Oh, private joke. That's
a callback to our pre-show. So if you want to learn about that magical noise, you want to become a Fandy. So that was so great. Thank you. So anyway, you were the morning shift and then we had a night shift. I did not tell you this. I do have some fun news that I don't think you know.
You're pregnant.
We are hosting now. You know what's so crazy? If I was pregnant, I would have the baby.
That is nuts. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, at this time in my life, I've got a 10 and 12-year-old. Like, we're almost out of here. I am so close to an empty nest, I can taste it.
But you love babies. And it's like you love them. I know.
I do. I love babies. I would snuggle and cuddle a baby so hard if I had one. No, I did not. I don't have a baby. Okay. I have a 23-year-old. So through Abby's soccer program, I don't know, there was like a lot of emails about like host a coach, if you host a coach, And I guess they were really getting desperate. And like the 5th or 6th email, they're like, we really could use a place to host a coach So I have a guy from Scotland, a 23-year-old from Scotland who's living in our house with us. And now he's kind of part of the family. How crazy is that?
Is he cute?
Oh, he's so cute. And my girls are both like, like they can't even... He's kind of wee. He's like he's like the leprechaun version of Scotland and Ireland kind of thing. So we all, including my children, tower over him. But he is he's really nice. He's really nice
great.
And obviously comes from a much quieter home than we are.
Yes.
And immediately my girls put we have this window marker stuff and they put our family and they included him in it. They put all our names and put his name there. It was really, really sweet. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure Delilah asked him to a movie Saturday night. So we'll see how it goes.
An AC/DC concert is a quieter place than your home.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm
loud.
okay with that. I know. It's only, I know. It's really loud. It's full of joy bouncing off those walls.
Well, I'm thrilled you're hosting a coach. I'm thrilled your egg roll in a bowl. Did you make it with pork or did you use
No, I used soy meat
vegetarian crumbles? Yeah.
The soy crumbles, which
and it worked?
It worked great. I actually
Good.
added a crap ton more vegetables. I mean,
Yeah.
I did like snap peas and I did
Oh,
broccoli. I did a whole mess of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could really do anything, and just the more sauce, the flavors are so good. Okay.
Everybody loved it.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you know what else everybody's going to love?
What?
Some bad dates with Jameela
Bad
Jamil.
Dates. Yes.
Now,
Mhm.
Megan, fan, friend, best person ever, Megan recommended listening.
Well, ever. I mean, I'm not going to just let that slide past. All right. But go ahead. You're lovely, Megan. It's the ever. I just question the ever.
Well, I mean, no, Ever's not over yet.
There was
somebody
Gandhi.
could knock her off the tower.
That's right.
She kicks Gandhi's ass. Much better hair. I have not been a Jameela Jamil fan, so I was very hesitant to listen
love
to her.
Mm-hmm.
I find her to be very full of herself. So I was scared.
How do you know her? How do you know she's full of herself? Like, what is
I've
she a
heard her in
stand-up?
interviews.
Oh.
No. Well, I know she was on The Good Place, which I didn't watch. And then I've seen her in interviews and heard her. And just, there's something off-putting about her until this podcast. She's utterly winning. And I'm on board.
I agree entirely. And from the very, very first episode, she talks about what a weirdo she is with dating. Like, she talks about how she waited forever to have her first kiss and, she lost her virginity late and how she's very strict about the things that need to happen on the first several dates or how long she'll wait before she gets intimate with someone, and that she talks about her crazy right up front. And actually, it does make things click into place. I thought she was wonderful on The Good Place, and she's so fun and has such a unique take. But that thing that you're thinking, that sort of arm's length thing, is, it might just be a British thing too. But I felt that as well. I was like, I think she's great, but I can't quite get inside of her. Yeah, I said it. That's right. But apparently,
no one can for 3 months.
But I was very like, it's such a fun thing to listen to when you're just driving around in your car. Like it's like hanging out with good friends.
So the concept really is she invites celebrities on to tell stories of bad dates. That's it. It's a very clean premise. There's no, I don't mean clean. They get a lot of dirty stuff.
It's real raunchy. Yeah.
But it's an easy pitch, just come on and tell us a nightmare bad date story. And she gets very funny, charming people to do it.
Yes.
So
and sometimes they get to tell 2 stories.
I'm trying to, Sean Hayes, I think, told 2.
Oh, Sean Hayes, Lamorne Morris told 2 stories.
I don't know who that is. I didn't listen to that one.
Oh, I listened to a bunch of them. I've just been listening nonstop. And
that's great.
Oh, yeah. So you might actually not know that in one of the episodes, I don't know which episode it was, to be honest. But in one of the episodes, I discovered my new lifestyle.
Oh.
Did you hear Oh, okay. So are you ready for this? This is a big announcement.
Okay.
And you might be thinking, oh, it's a sexual thing, and now I'm going to be putting things in places that haven't been before. But that's not the case. Although I am going to be putting things in a way that I haven't before. So Jameela was on a date with a guy, and no, it wasn't her. I'm sorry. It was Zoe Lister-Jones.
Okay.
So that's the episode. She was walking through a restaurant, Veselka, on 2nd Avenue in New York City. I'm sure you know it. Great Ukrainian food.
All.
Oh,
okay.
It's an amazing Ukrainian place. She's walking through Veselka with this guy who's got tattoos up and down everywhere. And he's walking by a muffin and like a half-eaten muffin on someone's plate that's left on the table. And he grabs it and shoves it in his mouth.
I have always wanted to do that.
Okay. There's a name for it, Mandy, and it's called a freegan. Okay?
Oh, that's clever.
Yes. So you basically don't waste food. It is an actual lifestyle where you're like, there's half a sandwich, nothing wrang with that. Why should that go in the garbage? And you eat off of people's plates so that you don't, waste more food. Isn't that great?
I would only do it with French fries or, oh, that piece of pizza has not been touched. Let me grab that. I would not do it with a half-eaten blank.
Okay.
That's a little extreme for me.
Fair enough.
But I have desperately wanted to walk by and just grab some fries or nachos.
They talk about that. They talk about like when you're drunk coming back like to your hotel at night and if there's a room service tray.
Right.
Half of them admit to taking a couple French fries off the tray. Maybe one guy took like a fried shrimp. Okay. Which that even made me go, I don't know, something about not knowing where shrimp came from. Although
I agree.
Yeah. But I think I would eat a half-eaten sandwich. Maybe a half-cut sandwich I would eat.
Right. It looks untouched.
But I think it's brilliant. And like, I never would have done it for shame of what it looks like. But now that it's like an environmental thing, like it's a good for the earth kind of thing.
So you can frame anything that way,
Can I?
Oh,
I'm trying to think of what other horrible, shameful thing I want to do but can't justify.
Well, if I kick people in the shins, it's to allow them to have their feelings. It's allowing them to get in touch with pain. Then the next day when the pain goes away, they'll appreciate that no one's kicking them in the shins. So I'm giving them a gift.
You're just kicking people in the shins because it's eye level for you. Oh, good night, everybody. Thank you.
Where's my wee coach? He and I are going to get along famously.
You're going to love Andrew. You're going to love him.
I'm on the small side. I'm it's shorter than both your girls. I know.
I call her like my pocket pal. I just want to put her in my pocket.
I'm not that tiny.
No, you're not.
Well, which one did you listen to first? Which celebrities' stories? And I want to dive in because I only listened to 3 episodes. So,
well, you know that I'm ridiculous. Like I have to spread my butter all the way to the edges of my toast, right?
Oh my God. When you said spread, just stop there. All I thought was legs. Legs. We're talking bad dates and then and spread my butter. It just, ugh.
Well,
all right.
Butter is still okay. It's way better for you than margarine. Although actually I found out recently that's not exactly true. There's nothing wrong with margarine. Who knew?
Oh, good.
Anyway, no, I'm an all or nothing girl. So I started right at the front. There weren't that many episodes.
Conan O'Brien and Sean Hayes.
I did,
right?
yes.
That was the first one. Okay.
From there, and then I got all the way to, I think I'm currently in the Lamorne Morris episode.
Okay, well, let's start with Conan O'Brien and Sean Hayes.
Yeah, sure.
Sean Hayes told a great story about, like, flirting with someone in a bar. Let's take this home. Let's go home. This guy's real hot. They go to his house, and the guy's like, before we get dirty, do you mind if I pop a burrito in the microwave? And Sean Hayes is sitting in this guy's apartment watching him eat a microwave burrito. And I thought that was hilarious. And I don't know, so common. Everyone can relate to a moment like that.
And he thought pop a burrito in was a euphemism, right? He's like, yeah, sure. Where do you want to put it? Here's what's two interesting things from that episode. I think I learned that Sean Hayes might be a top. Never thought that. I don't think he's a bottom. I think he's a top. And the second thing I learned from that was the one, then he tells the story about the guy. He goes home and has sex with a guy.
Right.
And then an older gentleman like pops up. He's been behind the bed the whole time. Like he's been hiding, watching the whole thing. It's kind of an agreement they have.
Mandy, what does it say about me that one story is that an old guy pops up from behind the bed and has been watching, and I'm more interested in the burrito?
Yeah, you're like, but what kind of burrito? Can we write in letters?
And cheese? Was it? I mean, was it spicy? What's? Oh my God.
It says everything. I can't believe you said the burrito one out of both those stories.
I know. What is wrong with me?
Sean Hayes really made me want to be a gay man. I mean, I've always wanted to be a gay man. But
as long as there are free burritos, yeah.
No, well, there's that. But I love their dating style, man. I love the way that he was like, yeah, you go into a bar, you see a guy, you're both cute. You're like, you wanna? Yeah. And that's it. And then they're like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Where do we hook up?
I couldn't do it. Unless it's moo style where it got to be, like, let's get under the sheets. No one looks at anybody. No one. I can't do that.
Oh, no. I'd be the shirtless one at a pride parade and I wouldn't even care about my muffin top. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love that about you.
I would just be prancing around. How high in can I get the thong? You know what I mean? I don't even want the one that covers a little or spreads it. Like I want the little skinny string thong with maybe feathers on the back. Oh,
and I'd be eating your muffin top
Hey,
off your plate. Right?
Hey now, everybody. Wow.
Callback.
Nice.
And then Conan O'Brien's story was fine. I find him on these interviews to be so repetitive and me. He's a funny, brilliant man.
Very, very great improviser. Yeah.
Yes, but I am a little. I get the feeling of turn it down, Conan. You don't need to keep talking.
Yeah.
That's my sentiment. So his story was not as funny and charming and quick as Sean Hayes's.
Well, it made me wonder about like, how are they going to do this? Because Conan O'Brien's been married for 150 years, right? Like, so he had essentially 2 dates to talk about.
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the next one sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I did think it was interesting, that idea that you're going to be driving. You're like, baby, I'm coming. I'm going to come see your show in Portland. And then he didn't realize how far it was. And then he's kind of fucking around with his friend. And they go off and are having all these adventures on the road trip. And then he realizes, oh my God, I'm never going to make it. And he kind of has to call and be like, oh, sorry, it's too far. I thought that was a funny story, but you're right. It's not. You have a pretty
this side of it. He sounds like, oh, I didn't realize it was so far, ha, ha, ha. But she had told all her friends he was coming to her opening night of her show. He's a dick, right? And then he calls and he's like, nope, I'm not coming. It's too far.
Well, here's what's interesting.
So I kept thinking of her perspective.
Right. And because you and I are very different people, you were like, yeah, she should have been upset about that. And I was like, what's her deal? Who cares? Like, he tried to come. He got sidetracked.
No.
I thought some of these stories that women were like, I mean, what? And I was like, well, you're too uptight about that. Some of the guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I preferred the next episode because I love Wendy McClendon-Covey, Thomas Lennon, and Paul Feig. That was a triumvirate of funny, smart people. And all of their dates were really different and interesting.
Yes.
And and they related to each other very well, and they're all funny improvisers. And that was my dream episode.
Yeah. That was great. I didn't know Paul Feig was such a good improviser. Like, of course he's funny, right? He's a hilarious writer. He did Freaks and Geeks, and he's an amazing comedy director. So you would kind of have to be funny. Although a lot of them aren't. Like, weirdly. Well,
I'm questioning Freaks and Geeks. That was Judd Apatow.
No, I think it was both of them. They teamed up.
Oh, okay.
That was where they met. But I think it was both of them.
All right.
But so
I sit corrected.
And I had no idea he was a stand-up. He was a stand-up for a long time. So that was actually really cool. And his story about going, holy crap. I love the sinking feeling. The thing I found so relatable is that whole thing where you're like, oh God, that's right. You go to a date and you're all excited because you feel the chemistry and the flirting has been amazing. And you're like, this is going to just be epic. And then you show up at their house or whatever, and they're wearing like sweats and the place is a mess. And like, they clearly are sort of half-assing, kind of didn't remember that you were coming, like that kind of stuff. Oh,
it was Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And he went to this lady's house thinking, this is it. She's inviting me to Christmas Day. This is big. And she's like, oh, you can make a sandwich with the leftover cold cuts we have. And it was so sad.
And he brought her a gift, a really thoughtful coffee machine, like an expensive gift.
$200 when he was a struggling stand-up comedian.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, I got something for you. Hold on a second. And she goes into the room and brings out, was it a candle? I don't even remember, but it was one of those. What was it?
It was
Do you remember?
Book that she had already read.
Oh, yeah.
A really strange book and something else. And he could hear her trying to wrap it. When he's like, she went away for 10 minutes and came back, and I could hear her wrapping these items she already had in her room.
And here's what I love about the human experience is when you start to get those, those signals, right? Like what part of you says, stay, this is going to keep working out. And why don't you just run screaming at that very minute?
Right.
Like, why don't we just cut bait when we're like, oh, you're not into me. All right, I'm going to find a way to get out of here. But we don't. We in our head, we go, oh, this is going to get better. It's the same reason I can't watch like half of a terrible movie. I have to watch the whole thing.
Right.
and read the whole book. Yeah.
It's harmless. Did you listen to the Nikki Glaser episode?
I sure did. And I love that other
woman. I
woman.
almost didn't because she started the episode by using the phrase amazeballs. So I was almost going to hit next episode, but I gave it a chance.
Nikki Glaser's one of my favorite stand-ups of all time. Have you ever seen her stand-up?
Not a lot of it. I think she can be very funny. And did you know she was on The Masked Singer? And she's an amazing singer.
What?
With her raspy voice, she's an amazing singer. Really good.
Saw her at like an event, like a fundraising event. She came and just did whipped off 20 minutes of practically improvisational, although a great comedian makes you feel that way, right? You're like, oh, she's writing this on the spot. But really, it's probably her routine. So funny. Yeah. Her specific delivery, it's relentless and amazing. So definitely check out her stand-up special or whatever.
I will.
Yeah. She's great. Mm-hmm.
I know her more as a host and a personality, and she's fine. I've never been a huge fan.
Yeah.
But her story was not even a date story. She really should not have told it on this specific podcast.
Oh,
because it's
I loved
she's
it.
like, we never even went on a date. But she basically sacrificed all her pride, all her sense of self and sense of what's right and wrong, chasing after a guy who we know is extremely famous, but she wouldn't say who.
Yeah.
And that's a common theme that they're talking about famous people, but they won't tell you who, and I want to know. But Nikki Glaser just let some guy, dick her around and treat her crappily month after month. So it wasn't a bad date. It was like, listen to how I compromised all my values.
Oh, it was a great story. I loved it. No, I loved it because
we've all been there.
We've all been there. She was so honest about it, and I love how she went into the specifics of her being on this date with this man who's treating her terribly and being so frustrated in her head, being like, what, why aren't you acting better? Why aren't you acting different? And just, really, it almost felt like she was still processing it. Right. And I love that blindness, hearing that told, because so many people do it, right? We all tell these stories where we're like, see how I was a victim here? And you go, oh my God. Not in a judgy way, but just in a way that we all kind of go, right. And you just keep thinking. She even said to him, are we going to hook up or what? Which I thought was a very interesting perspective for a woman, because I don't think that's common for women to be like, I came to your hotel room, I'm in your bed, why aren't you having sex with me?
Right.
I would think that a woman would be sitting there holding hands and talking and being like, oh, this is so nice. Maybe he's interested in me for more than just a hookup,
Yeah, but he was such a dick all along. So I just wanted her to forget about it. She needed she needed the conquest of that. I don't know who he is, but she definitely needed to be able to tell her friends, I hooked up with him.
Well, also, I got to tell you, that's the weird thing. I'm going to be completely honest here, but what would you do if your favorite celebrity, somebody that you were like Matt Damon, or I don't know if he's a favorite of yours, but whoever, just pick somebody.
Chris Pine.
Okay, Chris Pine. Great. Chris Pine's a great example.
Thank you.
Now, obviously you're a really good person. So if you're married, you wouldn't do it. But let's say you're single and Chris Pine is treating you like that. And wouldn't there be some part of you that's like, I don't care. I'll pick up Chris Pine's scraps.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've all done it.
That's the thing that makes you go, oh my God. I understand it completely.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I think a lot of celebrities have that. Yeah.
To me, it's just that it wasn't a bad date. It was a great story.
Yeah.
And it was relatable. But I was like, that's not a bad date. A bad date is the other person on that episode, Esther Pravitsky.
Yeah.
Who accidentally went on a date with her cousin. And that's a great story.
It's so great because they talk about how, I don't even know what this was based on, what scientific fact this is based on, but how things are changing. The humanity is evolving in such a way that we're starting to become attracted to people who we're related to. Did you hear that part of the podcast?
No.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. It's I think I was maybe driving or doing something else while I was listening to it. So I don't remember the specifics. I'd love to go back and listen. But It's that, that you tend to, we used to be biologically designed to not mate with anybody in our bloodline, but things have shifted. And there's research that shows that we're starting to kind of be into people who sort of look and act like us and have our mannerisms. And I think that's very true. You see those couples where you're like,
those couples who look, and then the dog looks like them. And it's weird.
Yeah. It's like, you're just super into yourself.
You're drawn to you. Yeah.
Yeah. That Esther Paritsky, is her name? She was very, very funny. Pavitsky. Yeah. She's very funny. And I didn't think I was going to think she was funny because she has that really like
mellow,
laid back.
She's very mellow. Yeah. So those were the only episodes I listened to. So what were some that you listened to before we share our own bad date stories? Because that's where this has to go.
Oh, and I'm utterly thrilled because there are a few bad date stories I've been dying for you to share.
I know the first one.
Oh my God. So I think I listened to probably just one more because I listened to Lamorne Morris and Zoe Lister-Jones. And I don't remember the third guy that's on that podcast. He's not saying a lot that's really interesting. In fact, he's kind of tanking it. Maybe his date story is good, but Lamorne Morris's story is fantastic. He has this amazing, relationship. I mean, like one of those micro relationships. This is a term that was coined by Shalim Ortiz, who plays Hugh in my movie Jazz Plus None. So when we're in London, I'll just tell you what Lamorne Morris. He has a little relationship where he's, he meets this woman. They hit it off amazing. Like, his sister loves her. His co-host, he was hosting on BET at the time. And so his co-host throws these amazing parties. He brings her. Everyone loves her. They're like, my God, where did you find her? The co-host loans her clothing or gives her clothing out of her closet. Like, she's family. And he goes, and it was just like the white movies. Like, they would like fall into the door and start peeling off their clothes to have amazing sex. Like, it was just perfection. And then one day she's like, hey, I got to go visit family. I'm going to be taking a train to, South Carolina or whatever. And then, so he goes to will you take me to the train station? So he takes her to the train station and then her ticket says like Georgia or something. And he's like, oh, I thought you were going to South Carolina. She's like, oh yeah, I got to go to Georgia first. I have a car there and then I'm going to drive to my family. Okay. Well, then she leaves town and basically he gets a call from the FBI that she's wanted. Like, she's a fugitive on the run for credit card fraud. I mean, you can't even top that date.
No.
You can't top it. And then Zoe Lister-Jones tells the story about the freegan, who also apparently has barbells in his penis, several of them, so that it looks more like a ladder than a letter. Yeah, piercings like barbells in his penis. I don't even know the point of that.
No.
But maybe you could play it like a xylophone. That could be fun. I wonder.
If anybody has those, will you please hit us up on Discord? Mandcave.com/Discord and
upload
with
pictures.
No, not pictures. Oh, I think we're asking for it. Somebody wrote into the Bad Dates podcast and she told the story of this first date and how it was going well. And he's like, I'll get on the subway with you and make sure you get home safe. And she sharded on the subway. And then he knows what has happened and she won't sit. And she says it smells awful. And it must have been a comedian friend who wrote it. You remember? She's like, there's a crime scene in my pants. Like, it was somebody who has a turn of phrase. And he ends the date by saying, listen, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And he walks away.
Okay, I didn't hear that one for some reason.
Oh, that's why I said you were talking about sharding. And I was like, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Oh, I missed that one. No, the one that I heard, the one that I remember was the one where she kisses a guy and he pulls back and starts to cry and says, well, this just confirms that I'm gay. Did you hear that one?
No. No.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. Which, that was in the Esther Pavitsky episode because Esther was like, see, I wouldn't have taken that as an insult. I would have taken it as a compliment because listen, if I'm not attracted to you, I will be attracted to no woman.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like the podcast. It will definitely just be something I can turn to when I need something light, and I would give it 4.5 man jobs, 4.5 man jobs. But it will also be based on, I want to hear that actor's story. I don't know some of the names you're mentioning. I don't know who Lamerne Morris is, or so.
Oh, Lamerne Morris is on New Girl. That's why you don't know him.
Oh, okay. So if it's people I know, I'm going to definitely be excited to hear their stories. That's why I chose the episodes I chose.
Right. And that's why you also don't go to concerts if you don't know all the music ahead of time. It's a very interesting, it's a quirk that you have that
But I highly recommend the podcast. What about you?
Oh, yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I love it. It's really just fun, very specific, but I think it's produced really well and she's hilarious. And it's a really well done version of such an easy, simple idea that you go, well, there have to be 140 of these. And there kind of are. Because remember, I was like, wait, which Bad Dates podcast? Because there are many.
Oh, okay.
But hers
I didn't know that.
Hers is really, really good. Yeah.
All right, so am I going to tell the Vegas story?
I wish you would. Oh my God, this is a moment in Mandcave history. I feel like this entire podcast has been leading up to this.
I'm going to really bullet point because, no one needs the gory details.
No, we want the gory details. I love this
Mandy
story.
And a friend of ours, Kristen, and I went to Vegas. Wild time, 2 a.m. I end up making out in an elevator with a guy.
Wasn't he with the bachelor party? Like, wasn't it those cute boys that came and hung out with us at the table?
Yeah.
And I was, of course, rocking it at blackjack, as one does.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He and I had been flirting all night, and then we were making out in an elevator, and we actually exchanged info.
Yeah.
And kept in touch and started calling. And he was a really nice guy.
He was so funny.
We called him Vegas.
Yeah.
To be clear, I'm not using real names. We called him Vegas.
We have a lot of nicknames for a lot of our guys.
Yeah. So Vegas says, I want to see you again. I'm coming out to LA. He comes out to LA and takes me on a whirlwind date. I don't even remember the date because of what happened at the end.
Was that date? I thought that happened in New Orleans.
No, I guess I had gone to New Orleans first, and nothing bad happened in New Orleans. That was lovely and fun, and
pretty sexy. Didn't he fly you to New Orleans to meet him? And New Orleans is one of your favorite cities.
Yes, we were building a relationship. We were talking on the phone every night. This was before texting. It was great. I was thinking, wow, I met this great guy, and he could afford to do those things. I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so he comes to Los Angeles and takes me on this great date. Yeah. And we go back to my apartment and we're making out. And he shoves me against a wall and not in a violent way, in a hot way.
In a hot way. Yeah.
At the front door, like, shut the door.
In a white people movie way. Yeah.
Yeah. Hot, making out. He reaches down and pulls down my underwear.
Was it under or pantyhose?
I feel like I was wearing
tights or something. Yeah. I love it that you were wearing pantyhose.
And then he rammed his thumb right up my ass. Which has been known in our inner circles as like of the pantyhose and then of the thumb going up. And it was like, what are you doing? No, stop. And he stopped, and it wasn't scary, but it was the strangest move. Thank you, Vegas.
Oh my God. I love it when that stuff happens. It's all of a sudden someone's like
to
sucking.
Me.
Well, no, when someone's like sucking on your thumb. I mean, not your thumb, your tongue. You ever had that in a kiss? I had a guy who loved sucking on my tongue.
No.
Yeah. He was Italian, and it was really interesting because he would show me pictures of his castle and it was very odd. He was, wanting me to come and be his princess, but I'm pretty sure it had to be a scam of some kind. It was crazy. His name was Carmine.
He was going to kidnap you. Yeah.
I think he was, because I was young. I was 16 or 17 at the time.
Oh,
but he was not, he wasn't 19 or 20. He was appropriate, but it was but it was still a little weird.
Yeah.
And he would suck on my tongue. And so it was that weird thing, when you get your tongue stuck to a frozen pole and you're like, I can't go.
I've seen Christmas Story, yeah.
Yeah. So then you're like, I can't, you're sucking on my tongue, I can't. It's not hot to me.
Right.
So that is
bizarre.
It was very bizarre.
As we record, I sometimes jot down things that we say so I can hashtag them when I post them. And I need for you to know that before you started your story, as I finished mine, I hashtagged thumbs up.
That's perfection.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
What is your bad date story? I mean, besides Romeo the Prince.
Oh man, there are so many of them. But I'm trying to think. There's one that actually the bad date part of it kind of happened afterwards. It was very cringy. There was a guy. His name was literally Mr. Right. No kidding. His last name
was Right.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's getting a hashtag. Go ahead.
Okay. So, we had such chemistry. Is like, how can somebody that handsome and funny, he's single, he's attracted to me, clearly. We go on this really sweet first date that's like, he picks a restaurant, which is a very classy move. You got to love a guy who picks a restaurant. And then we have a meet cute, lovely evening. He gently kisses me goodnight. It's okay. Doesn't knock me on my tuchus like Mr. Patrick Babian did with our first kiss. But although he probably is the worst date I've ever had. Well, we can talk about that later. But so we have a nice little kiss, and then that's it. Okay, so then we have a second date planned. And there's something, you sometimes have that little feeling in your stomach where you're like, I'm not sure, but like, let's go for it. Nothing with, this is why I think I'm psychic. So we have a second date planned. It's a Saturday, and I pull out my neck in such a way that I can't move, right? And I call him to be like, hey, I'm so sorry. This isn't me. I'm not backing out or anything. Like, my neck, I can't move my neck and I can't go out tonight. Can we reschedule? And he calls me back, and he is like slurring, drunk. He's like, I really think this is it for me. And I need to see you tonight. And I really want to see you. And I just don't cancel on me. Please don't. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm not, I was planning on rescheduling. I'm not backing out. I literally can't move my neck. I can't go out tonight. He's like, please. This always happens to me. And I was like, whoa. So I actually dodged a bullet on that one. But like, that was one of those things where you're like, oh my God.
He's like, you could just lay perfectly still. You don't need to move your neck.
But it was that weird thing where I was like, you know me, I can never end a relationship. I would have dated him, even if he had been.
That's why I've been around this long.
Yeah. Like, I would have dated him 6 more times, and he could have been that sloppy, drunk, and beggy every date. And I would have been like, well, there's something there. But because I was going, dude, I literally can't move my neck. I am not getting in a car and driving to meet you at a restaurant. Like, I'm not doing it. So that was a big moment for me.
I'm glad he was out of the way.
Yeah, but not unlike...
So you could receive real love.
Yeah. Do you have another bad date story?
Well, yeah, and I am the biggest hypocrite because listening to these celebrities talk about, and this person was extremely famous, but I won't mention any names. I kept, yelling at my phone, come on, just tell us who it was. But I'm going to do the same thing because I am a hypocrite. So I got fixed up with a guy in New York, and I was told he went through a horrible breakup.
Yep.
But he really wants to meet you.
As opposed to the good ones.
Yeah, well, this was horrible for specific reasons.
Okay.
So
it's Brad Pitt.
It's Brad Pitt. We go on a date, and I actually thought it was a lovely date. We walked around Central Park, and then we went to a diner and got food, and we were talking the whole time. Everywhere we went on this date, his ex-girlfriend went by on a bus. Her picture was all over the subway stations. Her picture was, she was a mega star at the time in New York City. And he was getting more and more emotional, and he was telling me the story of how she had betrayed him and slept with someone else and then used him and dumped him. And he was still clearly a raw nerve, and he was crying on the date. There she was. Everywhere. She was everywhere. Unavoidable. And I just thought that was so strange. He and I actually ended up dating for way too long. So it was a bad date for that reason where I was like, well, just don't think about her. Oh, there she is again. It was like she was just so looming large over everything. But
this is really weird, man, because the same thing happened to me.
No.
Yes. One of the first.
Not the same person, though, I know.
No, it can't be the same person. We never did that. But yeah, it was the first guy that I dated in LA.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Yeah. His ex was on all of the billboards and the signs and the things. And I was like, oh man, that is rough.
Yep.
Because, I could, you can't even live it. I couldn't even live in the same city where I'd had a restaurant meal with my ex. Like,
right.
To imagine having them splashed in front of your face everywhere. Oh my God.
It was brutal. Yeah.
And also, I should have known then that wasn't going to work out because I was like, really? You dated her?
I can't, I'm racking my brains. I can't remember who it is, but I know the guy, but I can't think of who it was. So sorry, everybody, off air. She's going to tell me. She's going to remind me.
Oh, hell yes, I am.
Well, let's tell the world our business and invite people. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens on Instagram. Share your bad date story on a DM or something, and we'll share your story. Or write it in a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Write it right in there. Reach out to us. We will share your bad date stories. But we need reviews. We need engagement.
Yes.
Reach out to us on Discord at mancave.com/Discord.
Yes.
You do the rest.
Okay. Hey guys, just so you know, Mandcave is a production of True Story FM. They do fabulous podcasts. Our engineering is by the amazingly talented Pete Wright. Music by Ian Post. And if you do want to become a Fandy, that's how we get this stuff done. You know what I mean? It supports our bad dating habits and our podcasting habit as well. You go to mancave.com/Fandy, $5 a month. It's like nothing. It's the price of a bean and cheese burrito.
A pre-sex, a foreplay burrito.
Yeah. And also, if you want to support in other ways, you can also go to mancave.com/merch. We have some really, really cool t-shirts, mugs, all that stuff there. And it's super sexy and makes you popular. So there you go. I think that's all the business. Yeah.
I assume so.
I think so. Thanks, everybody.
And I have a real quick fun game. I'm totally ripping off your idea.
Oh, great.
And you're going to do a lightning round.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do as many movie titles as you can get.
Oh.
They all have to do with dates.
Okay. I love it.
So I did, full disclosure, I tried to find movies about bad dates, and there aren't a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them are about bad dates, and some of them are just about dates.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we should just make our lives easier and just do a lightning round every week because they're so much fun.
It is so much fun. And I'm going to set the timer for, what did you do? 60 seconds?
I did 60 seconds. Yeah. Ish. I think maybe we went a little over.
Oh, I think we did. But I also, for people who don't know, Mandy's does a lot of, what the hell is the name of that movie?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So this could be a one and done.
Oh, it absolutely could be. Yeah. When Harry Met Sally. Oh, we haven't started yet. Okay.
Nope.
One and done. That was a great movie. That actually would be. Oh my God, I'm stealing it. I'm writing it. That's my meet cute rom-com next title. One and done.
All right. We're going to start right away and you'll know why. Are you ready?
Yep. One and done.
Nope. That's your what rom-com title?
Meet cute?
Yep. Boom. Next one. Tina Fey and Steve Carell are a married couple and everything goes wrong. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Two guys with very common names are attending a nuptial.
Oh, I don't know the name of it. So they go to a wedding. Mike and Jen go to a wedding. Mike and Chris, I don't know it. Eric and Fitzgerald go to a wedding. I know it. Daryl and Mimi make a porno. Sorry. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Okay. The next one is if I were to say to you, oh, wait, I haven't watched it yet. No. You say.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. Insane, dumb affection.
Crazy, stupid love.
Yes. Okay. This one, not sisses, but
bros.
Yes. I think we watched this one. It's with Charlie Day and Jenny Slate.
Yes. Oh,
it's an ABC song. It's a Jackson 5 song.
Shit, I can't remember, but I loved it. I remember really liking the movie. I can't remember what it was called. Shoot.
I Want You Back.
I Want You Back. Yes.
That was hard because the title's not
super catchy.
The title, yeah. And the nuptials one, we're gonna get this. So you had the first name right. The second name is and his friend is the same as the actor Foley or the guy
Scott.
Thomas.
Mike and Scott? Oh.
The guy Thomas who started
Dave.
Wendy's.
Mike and Dave.
Yes. And they require escorts.
Oh, Mike and Dave need wedding dates.
Yes.
Oh,
and I
okay.
love that movie. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't seen it.
That's one of my guilty pleasure comedy.
Oh,
yeah,
well, now I kind of
it.
want to assign that, but I'm not going to.
Well,
because you've already seen it. Yeah, you've already seen it. I will say something.
I love it.
By the way, I successfully got my book club to read Killers of a Certain Age, so thank you.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. And, but no, I'm going to talk about what we're going to, great game, thank you. How many did I get, by the way? 4 or 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice. I'm very proud of myself. All right. So you're going to love this. And I am excited about it. This week, because it's a little bit of a cheat, honestly, because I've already seen it, but I'm probably going to go see it again. You have to go into the movie theater to see it.
Okay.
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
No, I was hoping you would do this. I've heard only amazing things.
I love that movie so much. I'm so excited to talk about it. Judy Blume is a revelation. As a side thing, I might actually also watch the Judy Blume documentary. Because I've heard it's so wonderful. So, 2 things this week. Either or. But no, it's so great. Are You There, God? It's Me, Mandy. We will watch this week.
Yay!
Or Are You There, Mandy? It's Me, Margaret. We have
choices.
Bountiful. We have a embarrassment of riches. So yay! That was fun. Thanks for taking me on a bad date.
Hey, it won't be the last time I do it.
Oh, I know it won't.